Erikson is a psychologist theory which identifies 8 stages through which a healthy developing human should pass from influence in late adulthood. Freud proposes that psychological development in childhood takes places in a series of stages. A conjugative development, 4 stages of cognitive sensory motor development, preparational concentrate, optional, and formal optional period. Develop the ecological systems theory to explain how everything in a child's environment affects how a child grows and develops. Through research and observation, Giselle concluded that kids go through many stages of growth. All kids go through same stages or sequences of growth. Skinner is a behaviorist. He developed a theory of operant conditioning, idea that behavior is determined by its consequences, that reinforcement or punishments which make it one or more less likely the behavior will happen again. Social learning theory, learning through watching others' behaviors such as attitude and outcomes of those behaviors. Social development theory, social interaction plays with fundamental role in the cognitive development and the MRO understanding or hyper ability of understanding. Maslow has a list of 5 levels of human development: psychological, which is basic needs; safety, which is security; love, which is family, which means you surround yourself with family; and self-esteem, which is respecting yourself and others as well. The first attachment theories describing attachment human beings bonds from the children with caregivers have a tremendous impact that continues throughout their life. Gardner had the intelligence theory post that there are 7 ways people understand in the world. Upon aesthetic or special needs children, characterized by emphasis on independence, freedom within the limits, and respect for child's natural physiological and physical and social development. Describe 3 stages of moral development, which describe the process through which people learn discriminative right from wrong to develop increasingly significant appreciations of morality. Well-being and movement skills activities to help your child's large and small muscles control under his and her condition, overall physical fitness. Activities target child's ability to make and keep social reactions both with adults and kids, will express his own feelings more efficiently, and he will gain experience understanding and responding to emotions of others. Will learn how to approach new tasks, difficult problems, and challenges. These will spark some kids' curiosity, interest, and attention, and ability to stay on task. This area helps your child figure out how the world works and how things are organized. Helps express him or her to understand what others say every day, and reading and writing skills are targeted through this. From 0 to 2 months, reacts to sounds, begins to develop the trust. 2 to 4, turns head to sound, recognizes cause and effects. 4 to 6, follows moving objects with eyes. 6 to 8 months, looks when toys dropped, putting objects in mouth. 8 to 10 months, recognizes relationships. 8 to 10 to 12, develops depth of perception, finds a toy under 0 to 2, recognizes voices, cry, winds, and need. 2 to 4 months, coos, squeals, blows bubbles. 4 to 6 months, attention to bubbling, mimics sounds, inflections. 6 to 8 months, uses tongue to change sound. 8 to 10, building new sound, contributions. 10 to 12 months, mouth says mama, dada, and understands no. At 0 to 2 months, lift head, stretches leg, bears weight on legs when held upright. 2 to 4 months, pre-crawls, controls head while sits up. 4 to 6 months, sits ups, sits unsupported, pre-crawling, reaches for objects. 6 to 10 months, crawling upstairs and not down, still long periods of time, takes first steps. From kids 0 to 2 months, responds to calm actions, and then 2 to 4 months, laughs, shows emotions, happy or sad. As an example, from 4 to 6 months, raspberry sounds, raises hands for a pick me up attention. 6 to 8, plays hear peekaboo, responding to the name. 8 to 10, shows separation anxiety. 10 to 12, waves by and shows strange anxiety. Conjecture. Hold fist tight, attempts to hold rattles. 2 to 4 months, holds hair, rattles, clothes, plays with face. 4 to 6 months, points to objects, holds small objects. 6 to 8 months, uses hands to take small objects, transfers object from hand to hand. 8 to 10 months, bangs objects, grasps objects, thinks, drinks from a cup. 10 to 12 months, stacks blocks, painting, pointing index finger. 4-year-old's areas of milestones: social and emotional, enjoys new things, plays with mom and dad, cooperates with other kids, talks about what they are interested in, language and communication, tells stories, can say first and last name, knows basic grammar, sings songs, example like Itsy Bitsy Spider, the thinking and learning, names colors, some numbers, understands the idea of counting, starts to understand time, remember parts of stories, draws a person with 2 to 4 body parts, movement and physical development, hops, stands on 1 foot for 2 seconds or more, catches a bounce ball most of the time, pours cuts with supervision, sensory, stands on 1 foot, moves forward and backwards easily, can go up and down stairs without holding the rail. 5 years old, social and emotional, wants to please friends, wants to be like their friends, more likely to agree with rules, likes to sing, dance, and act, is aware of gender, can tell what real and make believe is, language and communication, speaks clearly, tells a simple story using full sentences, uses furniture, uses future tense for example, grandma will be here, says name and address, learning and thinking, counts 10 or more things, can draw a person with at least 6 body parts, can print some letters and numbers, copies a triangle and other geometric shapes. Movement and physical, can stand on 1 foot for more than 10 seconds, hops and skips, uses a fork, spoon, sometimes a knife, can use the toilet on his or her own, sensory, can somersault, swing and climb, hop on 1 foot, dresses themselves, eats with silverware, and uses the toilet. 6-year-olds, a physical, has grown 2 inches, has gained 7 pounds, has developing their first molars, understanding those baby teeth, thinking, can tell their age, can count to 10 or more, learning to express themselves through words, understanding the cause and effects of a relationship, to learn to write. Number 3, emotional, how fears of strangers and monsters, won't want parents to play with them, plays with a lot of fantasy, often feels like a big kid, gender roles, play with the same gender, develop the sense of humor, language development, able to describe describe their favorite television shows, movies, stories, etc., speak with correct grammar most of the time, can spell their first name and write numbers, letters, and read simple words. There are many things that can affect a kid's social life growing up. Either their parents aren't loving them like they should be, or they're not making enough friends, or they're just their home life in general can affect that growing up. Technology can play a good role in a kid's life and also a bad role. The good role is they can use it for learning, writing, reading, playing educational games, and the bad effects to having technology as growing up is they can get so addicted to it they don't know what's going on around them. They get so into it they just don't pay attention, and there are many ways that it can take away from their social life and everything else. Economics can affect a kid's life in many ways. It can either do good or bad. It can, in a negative way, it can either make the child angry, depressed, aggravation, not cooperate with family. And in a positive way, economics can make the kid positive and look at things at a different side and be more happy throughout life.